Well, we find ourselves right in the heart of Alabama, and we're right in the middle of the Creek Indian Nation of Alabama, and I got lucky enough to meet a Creek Indian who didn't grow up on any reservation, but she is a dynamic person, and she is a good friend of my sister-in-law, and I would like to introduce you to Billie Tatum. Hi, Billie.
Hi.
And Billie, I had a few questions for you, if you don't mind. In your opinion, where did we all come from on this planet?
Where did we all come from? Well, I believe that in the beginning God created heaven and earth.
And we are all people of Mother Earth.
Right.
And in your time on planet Earth, I know you spent a few years here on planet Earth, what lessons have you learned from Mother Earth?
Well, it took me a long time to learn that everybody didn't think like I thought. Everybody's opinion has a certain amount of value to it. And as I always say, stop trying to cook exactly what your children like. Hunger is the best sauce.
Wow. All right. A question I've been dying to ask you is, what is your favorite accomplishment here on Mother Earth?
Well, I raised two children. I raised three children, and I lost a son in 1998. And my greatest accomplishment was my children. Two of them became teachers, 2 out of 3. The other had a very successful career in business. And my personal accomplishment was, after I educated my children, or paid for them to be educated, I went to college myself and earned a degree. And I got a job right off the bat, which I think God had a hand in all of this. And I taught school in Shelby County. And the big reward of it all is when you go to Birmingham, Alabama, and you see my students own beauty salons all over Jefferson County, all over Jefferson and Shelby County. I cannot go shopping without somebody running up and hugging my neck or helping them in life, and that is my reward.
Very good. Now, these are next to our optional questions, of course. What has been the greatest moment of your life?
The greatest moment? I have a lot of them. A lot of good things have happened to me. But I have a lot of good moments when I see my children accomplish and get their degrees, and when I got my degree, and when I see somebody make a profession of faith to the Lord. And I just have many. I could sit here all day and name them.
Now, this is very optional. What is the worst moment of your life?
The worst moment of my life definitely is in '98 when I lost my son. He was a good man, a good person, had 2 careers. Number 1 was being a deputy sheriff, and the other was teaching school, which he was doing at the time he died. Had a way with children. The boys loved him. They just loved him. He was strict, but they loved it. They loved it.
And what advice do you have for the rest of us creatures here on planet Earth?
Well, I think the biggest thing that's going on today that I see, I don't mean internationally or nationally, I I mean, in all the communities, is children sitting, even at mealtime, playing with telephones and button pushing, when they should be learning how to interact with their families and with people. How are you going to do for other people, which is the whole object of life? That's what we're here for, is to do for other people. How are you going to learn to do that if all you can do is push their buttons? Because believe me, if you don't know human nature, you're going to push the wrong button.
Now, you tickled me when you came up with a saying for all the children that we're raising, and you called them...
Button pushers.
No, you called them McNugget children.
Oh. Yes, the McNugget generation. The McNugget generation. You go by the parents work all day and go by the drive-in window and get McNuggets for supper because that's all the kids will eat because they've never been introduced to much of a bill of groceries.
I find this so funny because I'm fishing on the pier in Florida and I catch the most beautiful mackerel. It's a great big 3-foot mackerel. And these bunch of kids that are on the pier, they look at it and they go, what is it really? You know, I know it's a fish, but what would you do with that? And I says, oh my goodness, it's the most dynamic eating, cooking fish in the world. It's my favorite fish. And he goes, well, no, we know fillet of fish. Does it get to be a fillet of fish? And I says, hopefully it never gets to be a fillet of fish. And that's all they knew. They didn't know that fish actually ended up in the middle of... Yeah, just they thought it was just a square. Yeah, that's what the story you said. Oh, man. And the question I've been dying to ask you is, how do you feel about being a native?
Well, you know, I didn't give it much thought when I was younger, but as I look back now and I learn a little bit more about it, I'm proud to be a native. I think the best advantage at my age is the native. It really helps to keep you from aging. I hate to say it, but in my family, some of them look older than me, and they're not. And I have a brother and a sister, and my other sister is very young looking. She's also dark and has the native Indian side of the family in her looks. And we have high cheekbones, which I was talking with a doctor about getting facelifts, which I've never had. But he said, well, you probably won't ever have to have one because you have high cheekbones, which is, you know, get that from the Indians. And he said, that holds those muscles up there, and you probably won't ever have to have a facelift.
Now, I know it's not...
Hey, that would save you $30,000.
I know it's not polite to ask any lady her age, and I'm not going to do it. But when we went out to dinner the other night, yeah, you totally shocked me when my sister-in-law says, how old is Billie? And I went, oh, she's got to be in her early 60s.
Well, I'm 80.
Oh, see.
I never thought I would put it on film.
I almost fell off the darn chair when she told me that Billie was 80. As active as she is, and she just had some serious major back surgery too. So I got lucky, and she's in the middle of recovery now. And she did cuss at me a little bit when I asked the interview that she didn't have time for such foolishness, but I did con her into it, and I have not paid her to do this interview. Billie, I can't thank you enough for spending the time with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.